The Swahili are ocean people that have sailed and traded and fished, but not many people have seen underwater. Even the fishermen. It's only the lobster divers who go underwater now. But we've found that when you show people these places, and we've been able to film some incredible places, and they're like, wow, that's what we have. And the funniest thing is but that looks like the movies we see from somewhere else, and it's like, yeah, but we have it too. We need to conserve these areas not only because they're hugely important places for biodiversity, for the health of humanity, but they're also hugely important places for vulnerable coastal communities. Yet, with a properly managed fishery, in the sense where the community is in control and knows what's going on and understands the science and the destruction behind it, that community is in a much better place to make informed decisions about what kind of fishing they allow, where they want that fishing to happen. A lot of films that are done in Kenya sort of have a different audience at heart, sort of maybe a more Western audience, and don't quite resonate very much with the culture here. And so we wanted to make a uniquely Kenyan film that spoke from a local perspective. In certain areas, we've been moving from more subsistence fishing to, sort of massive trawling and this and that. And often what happens is the local fishermen are vilified, yet no one's really looking at why they're fishing badly, because, their fishing grounds are being severely overfished by big international ships. So it's kind of trying to get that narrative across that, we need to conserve these areas not only because they're hugely important places for biodiversity, for the health of humanity, but they're also hugely important places for vulnerable coastal communities. First of all, I realized there's very important stories that need to be told here, but then we're making discoveries of our own little amazing places and places that no one's dived before, no one's filmed before, and places we didn't know what was there. And to me, that gives me so much more purpose, because we need to know what's there, because then we need to know what we need to protect. A lot of the time, the communities where you come into film, especially with natural history, you forget that these are the people at the front line of conservation. These are the guys you need on their side and on your side. And also, these are the communities that actually could have answers to your questions as well.